Hi everyone, welcome back. Welcome to my playlist, and in this video we are going to get started with Sveltekit. So what we are going to do is how to get started with a very basic application in Sveltekit. All different framework provide CLI tools to create and spin up your basic application. Either you talk about Create React App, Angular CLI or Vue CLI. Similarly, we have this Svelte Create React App kind of setup. So we need to just npm create Svelte, and we need to answer few things. Okay, you want a TypeScript support, you want ESLint support, you want ESLint, and after writing the basic thing, your setup will be ready. Now what you need to do is you need to get into the folder and do npm install. But here is a catch. We need to also think about what Node.js version and npm version that it is supporting. So this is our folder structure created. Now we need to see, if you look into the documentation, it doesn't support anything below 16.9. It's a Node.js version. And how we can switch the different Node.js versions? Using simple nvm commands, right? And now we can see that our npm install has failed. So what we need to do? We need to go to the appropriate version of Node.js and we need to install it. Meanwhile, you can just look into the folder structure. Here we have a source, we have a static, tests, and package.json. We have three different configurations: Svelte config, ts config, and wit config. Okay, so ts config is a TypeScript compiler configuration. Apart from that, we have prettier RC, ESLint RC, and all. Now, if we look into this error of installation, we can see that I think this is the Node.js version issue. So I started using 16.0.0 because it is saying that version should be greater than 16.0.0, and then I can just do npm install again. I'm just checking if it is supporting v16.0. That is fine. Otherwise, I have to try the another version, and it is saying required version is 16.9.0. So I need to install it first. Nvm install v16.9.0, and then I can just do nvm use 16.9.0, and with that my Node.js version will be 16.9.0. You can also set this node version default. Otherwise, whenever you open the terminal, you have to switch the node version, because your terminal will use the default node version, which is in my case is v14.5. and now I can just do npm run dev, and my application is started on 3000. And in this application, you can see we are using Vit. Vit is actually a hot module reloading setup, like same as the Webpack dev server, which is launching the application. It's a server-side rendered content, so we need to go to localhost 3000 port to see how this application looks like. And this is like a application with a skeleton, not application with a hello world. It contains already some code. So this is how it looks like. This already contains some code. You can see source, static folder, and the .Sveltekit. .Sveltekit is generated whenever you do npm run build or npm run dev. This is the generated artifacts which the Vit plugin or the Vit tool is publishing the application on the browser. Okay, we can just play ping pong with this application. This is the home page, and what do you see on the home page? So for what is getting rendered, we need to look into the routes. Routes are like the places which is deciding on / what Svelte component will be rendered, on / to do what Svelte component will be rendered. So here this index.svelte, which is inside the routes folder, is getting published on the /. So this is called server-side routing. On / this is rendering this page which contains some counter, and here we can also inspect the source and see what all network calls are happening whenever you reload the page, because this is a compiled HTML we are getting from the server side, and the whole content we are showing on the, we are publishing to the browser, and browser is able to load that content. So we can do hard reload and we can see all the components are getting rendered, all the chunks, JavaScript chunks, all the components are getting returned from the server side. So the use of the browser is just to accept it and just render the content. Okay, now we can also look into the other routes, like we have a to-dos. So if you wanted to create another page, so here what we are doing inside the to-dos, there is another component, index.svelte. Index.svelte means represents the route. So you can see in the routes folder we have index.svelte, and inside a to-dos also we have index.svelte. So when you hit a to-dos, it will publish index.svelte component. So similarly, I mean, we can create another component. Let's say I will create a folder my. Inside my folder I can put the content, some default content which we have from the about.svelte component. I will copy and paste it, and we'll see when I change the route to /my, then it should be able to publish this index.svelte which is created inside my folder. Now let's go to the browser and see the magic. Here I will change the to-dos to my /. You can see some kind of a component is rendered that is coming from the index.svelte inside the my folder. So this is how the server side routes really works. We just create a folder, put your components, and it will start working. So we have two different kind of things. We can also do API routes. So wherever you see the API routes, those files will be have extension .ts. Components will have a .svelte. So inside .ts you can see we are writing some HTTP GET call to some resource, and then we are returning the content. So this is, I mean, you can return the mock content, some JSON data, or you can make a API call from this and then return the data to this your client app. But this is a server side route, and this route is returning some JSON object, not the Svelte component. So it's like it can be considered as an API route. So whenever from the localhost 3000, whenever you hit to-dos /API, you will see this whole page. In this package.json you can see all the required dependencies. Here we are using Vite plugin, so npm run dev, npm run build, npm run preview, npm run lint and format, which is using prettier rc and lint rc, ESLint rc. And then we have some dependencies. We can see the tsconfig is there, which is a TypeScript compiler configuration. And when you hit npm run build, npm run dev, let's try npm run build, how it looks like. So it is actually generating the build, and you can see all the chunks generated, all the components generated here. All right, so we can just do npm run dev and we can start the application again. So this is how the pretty much configuration look like. We will look into deep about the Vite config, ts config, Svelte config, but this is how the basic hello world application looks like from the high level view. Let's get started, and what we will do is we will get our hands dirty with writing the more Svelte pages and